obviously last year, an incredible season for you. Your name was very much in the Cy Young conversation all the way to the very end. I don't think anybody had any doubts about that. But did you ever dream of being a finalist for a Cy Young? Like, was that ever something that was in the back of your brain that you were, wanting to achieve in your career? And were you discouraged at all that you didn't get the respect that we all believe you deserved in the voting at the end of the day?
It's a really good question. It's not something I was specifically, thinking of growing up and whatnot. I mean, when I was really young, I was just thinking of playing baseball professionally in any capacity, hitting, pitching, doing whatever. But I would say, probably once I got drafted, high school, you start thinking of like, you're dreaming of like just dominating in the big leagues, and like you just kind of want to, the recognition that comes with it and stuff is awesome. But I think more so, I just kind of believed in myself. I knew I was capable of things like that if I put in the work and put myself in the right position. And I'm kind of one of them people that just kind of lets the pieces fall into place where they may. But yeah, I've always been confident in myself and knew I had the capability of doing such things.
I love it. Well, for what it's worth, we are discouraged that the voters didn't give you more respect at the end of the day when it was.
It's okay. I mean, dude, there's a lot of good guys in the big leagues, man. There's a bunch of different types of pitchers that are goods in different types of ways. So it's not an easy job for the voters, I would say.
100%. 100%. Juice, you want to hit us with the next one?
Yeah, Justin. So with being in the Cy Young conversation comes, your first All-Star performance and birth. What was that experience like? I know it was Bo's birthday. Probably a fun time to interact with other players that maybe you don't get to as often. And can you tell us something about All-Star Weekend that maybe us fans like don't realize or know?
Something that y'all might not know. I mean, it's extremely busy for the players. I remember like I kept trying to find myself like just wanting to kind of like stop for a second, enjoy the moment, spend time with family and friends that made the trip. But it's really hard to, because like, I mean, you're being pulled different directions. You got to be here, you got to be there. So it was extremely busy. I would say that's something people might not understand. But what was the first part of the question again? Oh yeah, my son's birthday. It's me and Bo share the same birthday. We were both born July 11th. So I would say that by far for me was the most special thing about it, was that, both of our birthdays, All-Star game in the big leagues. It's kind of hard to put a price or put into words how special that is.
So basically y'all's annual birthday celebration has to be you at the All-Star game, right?
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. That'd be something he could definitely remember.
Yeah. Well, hey, I'm pretty sure the last time we had you on here, one of your goals was to increase your innings. 173 innings last year, which was awesome, impressive, and the most of your career so far. How did you manage days where like you may have not had the most energy? Is there things you did maybe pre-game or mid-game, any type of adjustments that you made last year?
I wouldn't say anything specific. I do a really good job of saving my bullets, I would say. I don't overdo it in any capacity as far as throwing and stuff goes. Now, like I do stuff in the weight room in between starts. I'm doing the proper soft tissue, proper recovery stuff, all that. But like the days I'm playing catch, like I play catch with a certain intent. So I'm not having to throw, super long, a lot of throws and stuff. Like, no, like my game of catch every day is pretty specific. Like I'm probably going to make like 20 to 25 throws. It's going to be within 120 feet. I'm going to get what I need to get done in, and I'm saving the rest of my bullets. That's kind of how I look at it. So I think that could have possibly, played a factor into me lasting 30 starts, 173 innings and stuff. And, I would say a goal for this year is, I want to get over that 180 inning mark, hopefully approach 200. Because, you look at the guys who are throwing 200 innings every year. I mean, it's really impressive, man. It's fun to watch those guys, 32, 33 starts, 200 innings. Like they're playing a different game. That's like a different kind of pitching.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like especially in today's MLB, right? Like the 200 was what an ace did, and obviously guys weren't throwing as hard unless you were Randy Johnson and killing birds on the way to the plate. But in your case, so obviously 200 would be great. Is there any reason that like 180 is kind of your, I guess, goal right now that you would say for this year?
You just do 30 starts times 6 innings. That's kind of what the quality start line is. 6 times 30 is kind of that 180 mark. So that's kind of where my head was at last year when I said that, and something going into this year. But 200 is just like, it's almost like, I mean, not that 180 is easy at all. Like it's not. It's extremely difficult. Pitching is not easy. But I would say like 200 innings, making over 30 starts. That's like it's just another like echelon of like starting pitcher almost. It's like, this is a horse. Like, this guy's taking the ball and giving you 6, 7, maybe 8 or 9 any given night. Like, you look at like someone I always think too is like Greg Maddux. Like his off game was 7 innings still, 8 innings still. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of like that group of pitchers. Someone I think too now is like Garrett Cole. Like, Garrett Cole's logging 200 innings. It doesn't matter what's going on there. He's logging 200.
Yeah.
Have you had a chance to like talk to any of those 200 inning guys at all? Like, I know that there's consistent guys that maybe you've passed at an all-star game or while they're in town or you're on the road. Anything that they do that maybe you're taking like into the off season this year that?
I wouldn't say anything specific. I think what I've been doing is moving me in the right direction as far as getting to 200 and stuff. The saving my bullets, the proper stuff in between starts. But I mean, I've had a handful of conversations with like Lester. I talked to Kershaw a little bit at the All-Star game. I got him to autograph a ball. I was a big fan of him growing up and stuff. So that was really cool. But, I mean, the thing you just kind of pick up on is, like, they put the work in between starts. They know what their body needs. They know who they are specifically. And I think that just goes an extremely long way.
100%.
I love that answer. So I went back and I listened to our show that we had with you last year. And we had asked you this question about what you were working on this offseason, what you were looking to improve on. And you said your changeup. You were working heavily on your changeup. Mm-hmm. How did that translate to the season, and what are you doing this offseason to improve?
Yeah, how it translated, I mean, I had moments where the changeup was working good. Those moments where I got swing and miss, got the ground balls when I needed to with it. I mean, I threw, I think, over 95% four-seam and sliders. So I've always gone back to the fact that you got to dance with who brought you, and those are the 2 pitches that got me to the big leagues. And in most situations, if I'm gonna get beat, I want to get beat with one of them pitches. I'm not gonna, especially with a situation where runners are on and I need to make a pitch. Like, I'm not gonna throw my changeup. Like, I just have so much more confidence in getting you out with a slider four seam, whether it's coming or not. Like, I feel more confident, and I think that goes a long way. Is like, the best pitch in baseball is the one you're most confident in. It's not, what he can't hit necessarily or what he struggles with in the past. It's the one that you have the most conviction and confidence throwing.
Yeah, I love that.
Heck yeah. And I was going to say, so putting this together, we all pitched in our questions, and Juice's question spurred a question of my own because – last year,
I always bring out the best in you, Ronald. I always try.
I appreciate that.
Even when you wake up in the middle of the night and you're singing Taylor Swift songs, and Justin, that's a CubsCon story for you. We'll get into that in a little bit.
Yeah. We'll get into that one. That one was fun. But are you adding any new pitches? Is that even a thing that you've considered trying to do? Because I know, for example, there's been a lot of reports that like Luke Little. Obviously, Leiter did it last year. Palencia, that splitter. It feels like the Cubs pitching staff is enamored with the splitter right now. Like, are you trying to add any other pitches to the repertoire, or are you content with saying, hey, I'm going to just keep improving the changeup, and then I'm just going to get guys out with the fastball slider?
Yeah, I would like to keep improving on my changeup and sinker as well. There were times last year against lefties I wish my sinker would have been in a better spot, been a little more consistent. and I would have been able to, I think, to maybe save myself some pitches, maybe give myself an extra inning here and there where I could throw the sinker in on the hands, get a quick out, maybe a double play ball here and there. Like there were just moments where I was like, man, I wish I was a little more confident in my sinker. So I would say this offseason, I want to have my sinker dialed in. I want to have my changeup available.